I am late. My husband pulled the okey doke on me, y'all. I'm supposed to be at home in bed resting, but we are out and about. Hopefully the signal will come through pretty good for you guys, and hopefully it won't be intermittent signal because we're not at home. So it will hopefully not go in and out as we travel because we're a little ways up the highway from home. How is everyone today? I'm running a little bit behind. You can close that. I done got dark. Hi, Mighty. Hi, River City. How are you? How are you guys? I'm traveling. I am not at home, as you can tell. Purple Cloud. Hello. How are you guys? You as well, Miss Janie. I know I went into my your favorite channel. That's funny. I said hi. He can join in and say hey too. Very good. Cool beans. I'm glad everybody's good. I went on the Google Plus group. Know that I was going to be a little bit behind tonight, and coming on later than usual. Joyce Ricketts, hello. My honey driving like he in a race car, y'all.
No, forgot that that's our turn.
So at any rate, how everyone is doing, but how are your projects going along? I don't know what everyone has been working on lately. Quite a few projects on, so encourages you continue to work on different things, because sometimes I get a little down and don't really feel like getting in there and creating anything, but when I see what you guys have going on, it's like, oh man, I need to get back on the ball, and I'll get back in the studio. Bunnies or bears with long ears, of course, spring is over with. I know I did not pile up on bunnies, but I do have one. But that's, I think, more of a personal thing, just in case someone I know has a baby and their theme is, you know, cute little bunnies or something. That's why I kept mine. But I'm trying to think of an embroidery blank place that you could get some bunnies from. You said you not working on much, Miss Janie. Yeah, I understand. And then Purple Cloud, stuffed animal for your soon-to-be born baby cousin. Okay, cool. Stuffed animal. You're making one from scratch. I've done that. It's pretty cool, but not everybody is up to that task. That's why I was asking. Are you doing yours from scratch? Because if so, you can embroider on it before it's put together instead of taking one apart like I did that time. I did a bear once and it was fun. Yeah, from scratch. Yeah, those are fun, especially if you have the really super cute pattern. I think mine was simplicity. I want to say it was a simplicity pattern, and it came. You could do a bear, you could do a rabbit, and some other stuff. And it's cool when you can make your own embroidery blank. It really is, because that allows you to personalize it prior to, without having to go through a lot of stress to personalize it as well, and also the color you wanted and all of that cool stuff. Are you using fleece to make it, or are you using like the fuzzy that actually looks like bear fur with your project? I mean, those are always a challenge. The fur type fabric is a fool to work with. Fleece, yeah, fleece is fun to work with. It's where that fur is. Welcome, you guys. So, has anyone gotten any babies lately? And that's another question. I'm trying to think. Yeah, because I wasn't on last week. The wedding was absolutely gorgeous. There's a couple of pictures welcome to see those. She was a gorgeous bride, and Miss Social Deb tell hubby I said hey. Hi to you too, my dear. She was a gorgeous bride. We had a ball. I partied so hard, it was crazy. It was crazy, and ate till we were stuffed and satisfied. So the next day I was exhausted and, you know, trying to get myself together. So I just went on and took the evening off. So hopefully you guys weren't too disappointed when I was there and didn't have any babies to ring the bell for, and we couldn't get the bell ring. I apologize if that's the case. No, the ones that I was in, did I post that? I could have sworn I posted one, but I do have some. Let me think. I think the pictures that I posted for you guys were not of the ones from the one photographer, so I'll have to put one up of me with her. I didn't. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, no, I did not. I didn't even really think of that. But I didn't like my pictures, actually. As crazy as that sounds, I didn't like my pictures, so that could be another reason why I didn't put the pictures up. My hair was acting stupid. So hello, Latasha, how are you, my dear? I hope you're having a great evening this evening. And I know that there are quite a few who probably aren't going to make it in this evening because of me being an hour and some behind, but I did definitely want to come online and say hello and make sure there weren't any questions that needed to be answered. I've been working with a couple of folks on different things. As you may have noticed, I did put up like a really quick video on digitizing what it is, because I get that question so frequently. It's actually interesting that when a person begins the journey of embroidery, they think that digitizing, or they don't realize that digitizing is a big part of embroidery. You know, it's almost like they some of these young entrepreneurs, they get into it thinking all they have to do is upload a picture and, you know, it's gonna just magically embroider, and it doesn't work that way. So to combat that, hopefully, you know, when someone goes on YouTube and they're looking up how to embroider, you know, they'll learn digitizing is a huge part of it, because it really is. And then the next video, a really quick video, was going to be about how you digitize, you know, as far as the steps you have to have program and all that jazz. So these, as time goes on, there will be regular tutorial videos, but I wanted to make sure that some of these really quick videos are out there for folks, so that when they go on YouTube, some people don't want to sit through a whole 30-minute tutorial on anything. They just want to know an answer to their question. And what I'm finding is that, you know, they want their question answered, but I've already answered it in a longer video. Well, they don't want to watch the longer video, they want just the answer. So that's the reason, as you'll notice as time goes on, there's going to be some videos out there that are really quick questions. So that's what that's for. No worries. Thank you, Sammy. How are you? Thank you for being here this later, a little bit later. No worries. You see video all the time. Okay, I'm glad you are able. How are you doing, Miss Pam's Crafts? Are you considering putting your bibs as in the hoop, Joyce? My bibs cannot be in the hoop because they're bigger, which is why I made them the way I did, so that it makes it easy to make the bib yourself instead of doing in the hoop. And the reason why it's not in the hoop is because usually the largest hoop is something around 7 by 12 ish, and so when you do the baby bib, it's just not big enough. That hoop isn't big enough to make a full coverage type bib. And I don't mean to say full coverage, that's the wrong terminology that I'm trying to think. It's just bigger. So what I found is in the hoop baby bibs are just so small. They're just, to me, they're too small. They're perfect for newborns, for the decorative and just really pretty for the new baby coming home because they're little bibs. But as the kid gets older, you want, when it's time for feeding and eating real food, stuff like that, I wanted a functional bib, not something that's only going to be used for a month maybe. So that's why I didn't do in the hoop. If there is an option for a larger hoop, that would allow you to make one, say a hoop that's, I know Happy Embroidery Machines, they have a hoop that's something like a 12 by 12 square hoop. Now in that instance, yes, it would be phenomenal to have, my bib should fit that. I think it should fit that, even though I think it's a little bit taller than 12 inches, but it's bigger than 12 inches now I think back. So it would have to be a larger hoop in order for my particular bib pattern to work. So for that, no, it can't be in the hoop. Thank you, Latasha. I'm glad you enjoyed that video, and that's why I kept it small, or really quick, so it's just something simple. Purple Cloud, I am actually headed home. My husband brought me to the newlyweds neck of the woods. They live about 45 minutes from me now, and I wasn't feeling my best. And my daughter's not feeling her best, so he brought me up here. We were gonna surprise them, and we did. But now I'm headed back home. Pam's embroidery foot, you get in for your sewing singer fashion. You got an embroidery foot for your sewing machine. That's cool, especially if your machine will let you do embroidery. That's what's up. Robin Bryant, hello to you. Barbara Raymond says hello from the Big Easy. Hello to you from the Big Easy. How is everything in Louisiana? And Miss Kizzy, hello to you too. So, but in going back to the bib, the patterns were available for a short while. There was someone that was working to get those done as a PDF for me. And unfortunately, I forgot who it was, and they probably got busy. So we'll have to see about revisiting that. Gayleen, hello, my dear. How are you? So otherwise, we got teddy bears being worked on. I have a grandbaby about to be born, and also another friend that just had a baby. So we'll be doing, I've been doing bibs lately, and I've sold a few on Etsy. So I've been working on baby bibs, and I have a blanket or two to work on. So hopefully I'll be able to get images of that up in the Google Plus group. I also found some blanks that I fell in love with at a store called Five Below. I don't know if anyone is familiar with that. That's something else that I'm looking to do a monogram and some embroidery on and share that, because this summer that could really be a hit. Also for back to school type things. Now that's something else to keep in mind. Book bags and the lunch totes are going to be something that people are looking for. Pencil pouches. What else, you guys? We have a whole ton of things coming up that you could look at adding to your inventory. And what I would suggest is, don't pile up on things. I'm finding that's one of my drawbacks, is when I find something and I'm like, oh man, this is really cool, I know I can sell it, I know people want it, it's gonna be hot, and then I buy 10, 12, 20, 25 of them, and I'm stuck with all this inventory later, even thinking that I'm gonna be able to embroider these and get them out, and that's not the case. So what I suggest is get one or two, embroider them, show them off in your social media groups and see how it takes off then. Now, unfortunately, that's also a catch-22 with certain stores. Sometimes your inventory will go away when other folks find out about it, but for the most part, you should still be able to get a hold to the things that you want to embroider and get it going. But don't embroider up a whole bunch of stuff or buy up a whole bunch of stuff, because then you're stuck, or maybe purchase 5 instead of 15. It's just a lot to keep all that inventory together. And hello, Miss Bickham, welcome. I was just telling Hubby that I hadn't heard from you. I need to get up with you. So what I'm excited about is sharing soon the this new thing I found at Five Below, and hopefully you guys will be able to make something with that, because it's Five Below, $5, an item, and it's a really nice embroidery blank too, and really nice embroidery blanks. Have I worked with Mylar? Hope I haven't already asked. I don't think you did. It would be fun to do some ornaments or something for the holidays, just thinking out loud. No, I personally, I bought Mylar. I had a Mylar design, but never got to actually try it and work it. So hopefully that'll be something I'll be able to do as a project to do a video on. I know my digitizer guru that I follow, he was doing a video recently on a Mylar design and how to digitize a Mylar design, and I've been meaning to watch it and haven't been able to. So hopefully that will take place soon, and then I can get a template of something and show you guys how to work with Mylar, because Mylar is gorgeous. I've seen it done. I've seen she had a fish, and the scales were with the Mylar, and it was the multicolored one, and it was gorgeous. Oh my goodness gracious, it was absolutely stunning. So Mylar is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, but it's a little trick to it to embroider on it, kind of like applique, but the design has to fit the stitches and make sure that it'll tear cleanly. So I'm excited about doing something with Mylar. I'm glad you mentioned that, Miss Social Step, and what I'll do is put a check mark or put a pin in that one, and we'll make sure to revisit that one soon when we crank back up with the project videos. That's what we'll do on that. So with the Mylar, there's a lot of really cool designs that you can do on book bags for these babies and getting ready, gearing back up for going back to school. Now, the other question for a lot of you guys, I see there's quite a few in here, for those who are experienced for quite some time embroiderers, I came across a website. It was called Wholesale Warehouse, I think was the name. I can't remember the name of it right now, I apologize, but it's embroidery blanks. It's pretty much everything that's on that website, and they are gorgeous. Someone asked about it in one of the Facebook groups. I don't remember if it was Embroidery Boss or not. So one of the things I noticed, because the person asked, did anyone have an account with that particular website, that particular company? And I went online and looked up the requirements, and I was like, wow, kind of floored a little bit, because you have to have either a storefront or a e-commerce website. You can't, just be somebody that does embroidery. That was one requirement. Then the other requirement was your first order has to be $250 minimum. The other requirement is, even after doing the $250 minimum, there was a minimum of how much you could spend per year, which was crazy. But I understand, to help, make sure that business flows and is productive, you only allow people to have a membership if you are authentic, I guess, to keep people from reselling. I don't know. But I was going to look into that and contact them, actually, because come to find out, they are out of Myrtle Beach, which is 4 hours from me. Or they also have another location in Atlanta, which is 4 hours from me as well, the opposite direction. So I think it would be cool to share that with you guys, and how that works as an example of where you can get blanks. Also, to check out a couple of other places. So if you have information about where you get blanks from, if you would drop that in the Google Plus group for me. Matter of fact, if I'm able to do so before someone puts that information, make a poll or something like that, so that we can investigate those and let you guys know what options there are out there. Because when I tell you that one particular company had gorgeous stuff. Oh my gosh, her blanks were beautiful. She had book bags, she had purses, she had shirts. I mean, it was just tons of stuff, and it was really cool because it wasn't like just one type. It was many different types with many different colors and many different patterns, so it was easy to customize it for your customers. So that was interesting to see, and that's something that I think would be really cool for us to hear about and learn about and share with each other. Miss Esther, you said hello, love your videos, came across your channel while researching starting embroidery business. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. You're welcome. I don't know everything, but what little bit I do know, I don't have a problem sharing with anybody. So I definitely appreciate you saying that. Miss Debbie says you're going to do your first craft show. Do you have any advice for you? I'm trying to get your name out in the community. Cool. Really quick though, Miss Parker, the In the Hoop bib, sorry you missed that. With the In the Hoop, I don't have it in the hoop because most of your In the Hoop bibs are restricted by the size of your hoop, and my bib pattern is much larger than the most of the basic hoops that are out there. You kind of have to have like an industrial machine to be able to make the bib pattern I have in the hoop because of how big it is. I don't particularly care for the smaller In the Hoop bibs because to me those are limited to like your newborns and the really small infants. As they get older, it's kind of too little in my personal opinion. So no, my bibs are not in the hoop. But Miss Debbie, I have a embroidery boutique. This one was called Wholesale something, I thought. It might be Embroidery Boutique. But that's really cool to know. So I'll check into that too, Miss Debbie. And Mama Mary, you made it. Well, thank you for being here. But Debbie, I'm going to be doing a craft show come September as well. And I've done a number of craft shows. Just finished one about 4 weeks now. About 4 weeks ago, I did a craft show. What I will tell you is, one of the first things I will tell you actually is go on, no, it wasn't ARB blanks either. I'm gonna have to look it up and see what it was. But go on to what I suggest is Pinterest actually, or if you are on Pinterest at all, go on there and type in craft show checklist. Craft show checklist. And when I tell you, yeah, Wholesale Boutique, that is correct. That's the name of it. I knew it was Wholesale something, and they have phenomenal stuff. But the craft show checklist, Debbie, is going to save your sanity. I am telling you now, because there are little things on that checklist that you're just not going to think of, and you're going to be struggling. You're going to be more focused on what crafts to take and what items do I need to sell and your display and all that jazz, but not really thinking about the little things like snacks or pen and paper or a receipt book or whatever the case may be. So go ahead, first, number one, go online to Pinterest and type in craft show checklist, and there's a number of folks out there that have a craft show checklist available for you to use, and look at more than one. Don't just stick to one. Check out all of the different craft show checklists and find out what applies to you, and then make your own craft show checklist off of that, you know, to have. The next test is do things or try and sell things that are cheap. That's the wrong word. But like keychains are affordable. You know, a few dollars for a keychain, like $4 or $5 for a keychain, or one of the little in the hoop purses. A few of those. Something small price range. Then also have your higher price range things. Also make sure you have your business cards, something for you to capture people's contact information just in case they want something and you don't have it there. You know, like if you're planning to sell, say for instance, monogram bags, and this person comes up with they want a pink one and you don't have a pink one but you can get one, you need to capture that information so that you can get back in touch with them and they can purchase from you in the future. Also make sure that your online presence is on point prior to the craft show, because people, one of the main things I was asked every time someone came up to me, other than do you have a business card, is what's your online presence? Do you have a website? Okay, so their thing is they may not be prepared to purchase right now, but they want to see what else you have to offer, and they're going to want to purchase later, possibly. Or even if they won't purchase later, somebody else will. So yes, you want to definitely have your social media or your website on point so that people can get back to you. Miss Esther, what I will suggest to you is email me this evening, because at the end of this particular live, I don't have anything in the description for this particular video, and usually I have a link to the Google Plus group in the description below the videos. So if you email me, I will go ahead and add you or send you a link to join the Google Plus group later this evening. So yes, that is what those few things, Miss Debbie, is what I would suggest for your craft show. So number one, get you a craft show checklist. Number two, have little inexpensive, that's what I needed to say, little inexpensive or more affordable items that people can purchase from you, so that they're not, because embroidery is pricey and our items that we sell are going to be pricey, and you know, some folks walk at the prices. So try and have smaller things that people can, you know, you can feel accomplished, because there's nothing worse. I'm trying to tell you, I've been several craft shows where I sold nothing, absolutely nothing, because what I had wasn't what they wanted at the time, or they couldn't afford it, or, you know, the price that I had, they didn't want to pay it. So, you know, I had to pack all of that stuff right back up and take it right back home, you know, because the thing with us embroiderers and craft shows, most people want things that are customized. They want it to be what applies to them, you know. So the most success that I've had at a craft show of sorts was I went to one event and I took my embroidery machine and all I did was ball caps. That's it. And I was like, okay, whatever you want on a ball cap up to this particular type specifications, you want a name, you want a picture if I have it, you want, you know, whatever color that I have with me, I'll do you a hat. That was very successful, actually. I had an excellent time. I sold quite a bit. Why? Because people were able to get what they wanted right there on the spot, on demand. So, you know, for us, it's difficult as embroiderers to know ahead of time who is going to want what, you know, and that's difficult. It really is. And if you don't have the ability to take your machine and some blanks, then, you know, you kind of are, you know, trying to go based on the luck of the draw, so to speak. So have some little inexpensive things that people are willing to pick up from you. And also make sure your social media or your website is on point. Those are the three most important things I would tell you from my personal experience. Let us see here. Miss Eunice says, hello from Pennsylvania. Hello to you too. You're having problems with tension. You ordered another bobbin case, so you're going to try that. Bought some patterns for key fobs from Designs by Little B. Going to try that. Okay, now I also have a video on how to test your tension. to see if maybe it's your tension dials. Also, it will explain some other things you can look for, like you're saying you're having problems with tension. Is it looping on the top of your project, or is it looping on the bottom? So those are different questions that you have to pay attention to determine exactly where your tension issue is stemming from. Okay, so it may not be your bobbin case, it could be the thread, or it could be the way it's threaded up top. So definitely see if you can, and of course I don't recall what video that is so I'll have to figure that out. If you're in the Google Plus group, then I'll link that later. So if you're in that group, then look for me to link that this evening. I'll have to remember to do that. Heather Rock, hello my darling, you just jumped on. Hope all is well for you. Happy 4th from Wisconsin. Well, thank you my dear, I appreciate that, from way across the country. Wisconsin is a beautiful place, and thank you for joining us this evening. Purple Cloud, you said you just realized instead of using fleece or fur like you usually do, you're using fabric for the first time to make a fabric plushie. Have you ever made one? And if so, what do you think of it? Is it easy or not? Plushies are pretty cool. They are, the ones that I have done are for babies. So you're dealing with small things, and for me the smaller sewing is irritating. Not irritating, that's the wrong word, because it's not irritating, it's just a challenge. It's a challenge. So when you're sewing in those small little areas, you have to pay attention to detail. You have to make sure that everything is, just so that you follow the pattern correctly. But otherwise, I have no issues sewing the plushies or the bears or anything of that magnitude. And the ease of it, I feel, is more in conjunction with a person's experience, more so than, because what could be easy to me what could be easy to you, rather, I should say, may not be easy to me, because I don't sew quite as often as you might sew, so that's, I personally don't sew that much, but those are pretty easy for me to do anyway, because I've done them before. Who hosts my website, Miss Tracy? I want to say it is a combination of Wix, and then I also use GoDaddy for some things. So, but the majority of my stuff is done through Wix, W-I-X. You're welcome, Miss Debbie. Miss Social Deb says, don't overload your tables. Also have a sign for your booth that is noticeable. Understand some shows have better sales than others, and be cool with that. I know that's right. Ooh, chill. Because there's a lot of times you'll sign up for a show or craft show or craft fair, and they're like, hey, we're going to have this many people show up, and it may not show up that many people like they thought. So definitely keep that in mind. And if you don't sell that much, be okay with it. And I've had to eat table fees and booth fees because I thought I was going to be able to sell, and I didn't. Don't be discouraged, because there are going to be some bummer craft fairs. It's just a fact of it, unfortunately, because you're taking a chance. You're taking a chance. Tracy says you're moving to Charleston soon. Sweet. I love Charleston, especially Folly Beach area. We usually go once a year. I haven't been this year yet, but I do love Charleston and visit there quite often. So I'll have to let you guys know when we head that way. Embroidered tissue roll sells well for you, Miss Social Deb. Those are very fun and whimsical and inexpensive. And it's inexpensive. I think I did a video on it, if I'm not mistaken. But the tissue rolls, you can go to Dollar Tree, get a whole pack of 4 for $1, embroider on them, and sell them. And it's just amazing, the profit turnaround on that. They're a lot of fun. They're a cute gag gift. So most people, enjoy that, and they think it's really cute to put into the bathroom. Tracy says buy a small used machine for craft shows. You can, if it's something that you can that you're selling that you can embroider on, but the drawback on taking a small embroidery machine is the speed of the embroidery and what you're embroidering. You have to keep that in mind as well. So if you're just doing monograms, you should be good. You know, if you're monogramming things, it usually doesn't take that long to stitch out a monogram. But if you're doing complicated embroidery, pictures, designs, things like that, it's going to take a while, and you don't want to hold up your sales because this person wants a picture of this on their baby's onesie with all this words and stuff, but this other person just wants a monogram where you tied up your machine, you know. So if you do decide to take a machine, that's great, but keep your embroidery designs simple. Make sure that they're very simple designs so that it won't take forever to stitch out. Leah Jones says, long time not see you here. Hi, yeah. I was just mentioning earlier that last week I took a break because of my daughter's wedding and recuperating from all of that fun. So I took time off and spent with my honey bunny. Fanny Henry says, hi, you're brand new to embroidery. Should you buy Sew Up Pro and Sew Art? Miss Fanny, I am going to suggest to you to give them the editing program. Okay. If you are the type of person that wants to experiment with your embroidery and do things the way you want them, you know, because you can buy designs. You don't have to have an embroidery editing program at all. You don't, you know, you can make do with just your embroidery machine. However, it's easier when you have an embroidery editing program. And the embroidery editing program, there are many of them out there. That's why I push it. I love it. It's a powerhouse little program. Even with it being, you know, art is $75. So you know, you would have to make that call personally, but definitely do the trial, how that will work for you. Pam's Crafts and Quilt says, what thread do us sewing 5560 fashion matte thread? Um, Matte thread is available, I know, through Madeira, if that's the question you're asking. I use Madeira thread, and I know they have matte thread, so that's the thread without the sheen. They do sell frosted matte, and then they sell, not, is it rayon? I think it's called rayon, a rayon thread. So those are options for you. Donna, you said you got your 15 needle machine last week. Woo, that's a big baby. I'm gonna have to I just got home, so I may have to run in there and grab a bell for you, girl. That's awesome. That's what's up. Congratulations, my dear. That is a phenomenal achievement. 15 needles is a fun machine, understand. Dorothy Brown says, hi, Eve. It's been a while since you've caught me live. Sending greetings from South Haven, Mississippi. Well, thank you, Miss Dorothy Brown. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining us this evening. Running a little bit late, but still happy to be here with you guys. And Dorothy Brown, we got two babies, y'all. We got to ring the bell for. So we going to have to figure that out. Miss Bickham says Aurora made her first rhinestone shirt this weekend. Wow. And been bitten by the crafting bug. She wants me to see it. Tell her, send it to me. I would love to see it. You can either text it or you can post it in Google Plus. That would be fun to see it there too. And that way everybody else can see what the baby did. So yeah, the rhinestones are fun. So we're looking at doing some videos with rhinestones. I'm not 100% sold on doing that on this channel, but I might do that. Purple Cloud says, you heard I had a Google Plus group, was wondering if I could join but don't know what program you use. You don't need a program with the Google Plus group unless you're talking about embroidery stuff. But the Google Plus group, if you shoot me an email, and I just realized that somebody else asked earlier and I never even said what the email was, but just shoot me an email, and I'll add you. So it's the baby's booty. Okay. So that's TheBaBys. Okay. Because it's possessive. BOOTY. So the baby's booty. TheBaBysBOOTY at gmail.com. If you email me and let me know that you're interested in joining the Google Plus group, I can send you an invite and you can sign up that way, because I have the group as private. So you can't like just go out there and find it yourself going that way. I did it purposely for that reason, so that we can make sure we weed out the folks that really don't want to join, but they want to join to be aggravating. Eunice says, I was having a bit of trouble with everything looping on top, bird nesting on the bottom. I will message you privately in Google Plus. Other things. Thank you so much for your videos. You're quite welcome, my dear. Yeah, the tension thing is one of the most irritating of all problems you can have with your embroidery. Okay. The tension problems can, make you throw the machine out the window, or at least want to. And I'm very well aware of that. And the sad part of it is, it could be something so simple. It could be something so simple. It could be, maybe the item isn't hooped tight enough, or it could be maybe you've threaded it wrong up top and don't realize it. It could be your machine just doesn't like that type of thread. It could be, like you mentioned, you bought a new bobbin thing, or the bobbin case. Two of my machines, the needle had punched through the bobbin case and it actually nicked it, so the thread was getting caught on the nick of the bobbin case. He came, my service tech came and filed down that piece of it, and the machine worked like new. So it could be any number of things that's causing that problem. And it's difficult to troubleshoot, so that's why if you try a lot of your basic things, making sure your machine is cleaned out, making sure you got a new needle, making sure you double check your tension and do a tension test. um, I don't know that I mentioned, make sure it's oiled, make sure your machine is lubricated, make sure your item is hooped tightly and stabilized correctly. Once you've done that and you're still having issues, a lot of times that's when I'm like, okay, you really should look into calling a service tech or taking it in and have it looked at, because that's a pain in the butt. I'm trying to, that is very difficult to troubleshoot sometimes. So don't get super discouraged if you're having tension issues, even though I know firsthand how frustrating it is. But just continue to, plug away at it. Do those steps and make sure you following those steps. And what we're also going to do is get a video, because like I said, I do have a video out on how to test your tension, but it's nestled within a video about a bunch of different things. So we're going to actually extract that and make a completely separate video, and it's just going to be how to check your tension properly. Okay, and dealing with tension issues, or how to address tension issues, so that it's an easier video to watch and follow steps for, without having to search for it in another video. So look forward to that. But the tension thing is a pain in the butt. Fanny Henry, you say thank you, you're quite welcome. Leah Jones says, your embroidery is brother 625. I want to know how I can make big designs. You don't know how. Yeah, the brother 625, I'm under, if I'm understanding correctly, is that a 4x4 machine, or is that a 5x7 machine? Because if it is a 4x4 machine, you're going to be limited on the size that you can do. Actually, even if it's a 5x7, you're going to be limited. Now, you can purchase a repositional hoop. There is a hoop out there, like for a 4x4 machine, it gives you 4 inches by 6 1/4 or something to that effect, or 6 3/4. It gives you a little bit more wiggle room, but it's repositional. Okay, because our 4x4 machines are only set to do 4 inches by 4 inches. Okay, so the repositional hoop will allow you to do one part of your design in a 4 inch space. Then you move the hoop without taking your project out of the hoop, without unhooping it. You just take the hoop off of the machine, move it down a notch, and then snap it back in place. And then you can do another little 4x4 section to make your bigger, embroidery design. Okay, so there are little tricks and little ways around being able to, be limited by that 4x4. But you have to have an embroidery, in most instances you have to have an embroidery editing software program to be able to use it effectively. and to use it easily. Okay, so you might be using the program and the program not, um, how am I putting it? Like you might be trying to do the reposition a hoop and it's not working for you because you don't have your design laid out properly. So yeah, there's some a learning curve with it, and that's why there's several videos out there that I have and others have in showing how to use that repositional hoop. So definitely look into those. So that the same video applies not just with the 4x4 but also the 5x7. Okay, so there is a 5 by roughly 12 hoop for those who may have a 5x7 machine and want to go bigger or wider, so to speak. The same 4x4 videos that I have out there, they work just the same with the 5x7 because the principle is the same. You're limited to 5x7, but you can do it in chunks to make your embroidery design bigger. Now, if you're trying to go, like if you, sometimes people are mistaken thinking that they have a 4x4 machine and they get the repositional hoop because I know on Amazon, if I'm not mistaken, they have that hoop listed for the 4x4 machine, the repositional hoop. They have it listed as 5x7, and that's very misleading. The hoop size itself looks like it's roughly 5x7, but you can't embroider 5x7. Okay, you can only do 4 inches in one direction. Okay, and then the hoop lets you move it in other directions, so it'll be 4x6, something like that, but you cannot do 5x6, because you're limited to 4 by 4 inch squares. Okay, so I hate that that's misleading to some people, but the biggest that you'll be able to do if it's 4x4 is 4x4, but then do 4x4 chunks, or if it's 5x7 chunks. Okay, and I hope that makes sense. um Let me see. Eunice says, I saw your video when you went to your first craft show. Your aunt brought you a tent. I love all your videos. Yes, we do learn from my mistakes. And she did buy me a tent, didn't she? Or she brought the tent for me to use. She really did. And I have a phenomenal family that really looks out and is very helpful. And that's why I did start this channel, why I love this channel, because it allowed me to teach you guys from the mistakes that I've made. I don't claim to know everything because I don't know everything in regards to embroidery, but I do know what I've learned, and I've learned along the way a lot. So I want to make sure that you don't have to make some of the same mistakes that I made, which is why I'm suggesting, as far as doing that checklist off of Pinterest. I don't have a checklist out there to share with anybody because I had to make my own, and I never thought to really put one out there. But they are out there, and that's why I'm sending you guys, check out Pinterest, and there's a lot of information out there um, to help make sure that you avoid headaches, and that's the whole point. Leah Jones says, congratulations to your daughter, and of course to you too. Thank you so very much. She's happy, and that's pretty much all I've ever wanted for my kids or anybody else. But please, what do you and the girls charge for an embroidery dish towel with a name line on it? Do you think 15 is good? I'm just getting started, so I'm not sure on a 4x4 hoop. Janet, it depends. What are you putting on there? Because you're saying a name and a design. Most instances, I still stick to that dollar per thousand stitches rule. Anything over my minimum, right? So I have my minimum set at $8. I don't care what I do. All right. So even if it's, $1 dish towel and they just want one letter on it and it's a little teeny letter, I don't care. It's a minimum of $8 because I'm taking my time to do something. All right. So at the very minimum, a dish towel would be for me is $8. Okay. Now if you're adding in the stitch count on your design, if the design is dense or high or have a high number of stitches, say it's 10,000 stitches, well, of course, that's $10, for the dish towel. So that's how I price it. That may or may not work for you. Okay. Especially if you're adding things. Sometimes people add trim or lace to the bottom of a dish towel. If you're not adding anything, all you're doing is embroidery. You're doing a custom personalized thing by putting their name on it. $15 doesn't sound like a bad deal to me because they'll, and 9 times out of 10, they'll want it because it's custom made for them. All right. But The thing is, you also need to know your audience. All right. So I've been to craft shows where the people who were going to come to the craft show I knew had, you know, pretty deep pockets, not super deep, but deep enough. So me being able to price my items at a certain level, I knew wouldn't be that big of a deal to them. But I've been to other craft shows where I knew people were coming to look for a deal. All right. And if I know they're coming to look for a deal, then $15 might be too much. So you have to keep in mind your audience, who your customers are going to be, the area that you're in, and what your investment is, because you can get dish towels from Dollar Tree and they're kind of cheap looking. I mean, it's the truth. Or you can get dish towels from, say, Walmart. They're a little bit better, but they're going to cost more. So you have to keep all of that in consideration when you are determining your price. But I don't think $15 is too much. But again, you have to take in consideration your audience that's going to be purchasing. Esther, you says, please confirm this is the right, the baby's booty at Gmail. That is absolutely correct, Miss Esther. Thank you for double checking. Fanny Henry says, where do you suggest I buy a repositional hoop? I have a link if you have an opportunity right away. If you're in the Google Plus group, I have a post that is a link to my Amazon page. You can click there. As far as I know, the only place I know to get it that I've seen it is on Amazon. Or you can check any of my non-cell phone live broadcasts where I'm actually in the studio, and usually I keep the link to the Amazon page right there in the bottom in the description box of the videos. I don't have it in the bottom of this one yet. I will post all of that as soon as we're done with this video and I get in the house. I can go on the computer and post that, but when I'm on the phone I can't do it ahead of time. But my links are either in the Google Plus group or they're on the bottom of my studio live videos or any of the other videos, the tutorial videos. The link should be there too. Leah Jones says, thanks. I will check those videos. Thanks for your help. You're new with it. Not a problem, dear. That's what we try to do, is make sure that you have headache-free embroidery. Happy embroidering, that is. Betty Ann says, I found your videos last week. They are very helpful. Glad I caught you live. I'm glad you caught me live as well. Thank you, ma'am. I'm happy to see you here. And Yolanda says, you love my hair. Thank you, my darling. I really appreciate that. My beautician said she wanted to give me a mother of the bride hairdo. And I absolutely loved it, even though that's why I was complaining in my pictures. I had one strand of hair that just stayed like that, man, and it was looking terrible in all of my pictures because nobody, I guess, realized that that's not the way I wanted my hair. So that wasn't corrected, and I'm just like, ugh, I hate all of my pictures because of that stupid one strand of stupid hair, man. It's just irritating. But at any rate, that's enough of my blabbering about that. I just wanted to check in with you guys. We've been 55 minutes, so right here at an hour, and I don't like to keep you guys longer than that. And I'm running behind, so I know, let's see, I came on about 8:30, so it's going on 9:30, rather late. And my husband abandoned me, y'all. He's gone. He went in the house and left me out here in the car so that we don't mess up the video, and I definitely appreciate that. So he's awesome sauce. But I am going to go in and make sure that I send out those Google Plus invitations to the ones who want to join. So if you want to join the Google Plus group and you're not on there, you can either wait till I post the links in the description below this video, or you can email me and say that you want to join. That's cool. And what I'll do is respond with a link so that you can join the Google Plus group. The Google Plus group is totally awesome. It allows you to join and discuss embroidery projects and ideas with all the others who wish to enjoy embroidery together. You can get answers to questions in regards to issues you may be having with embroidery. I am in there from time to time answering questions, looking at the pictures as well, enjoying all of your projects, trying to keep you guys encouraged, and we encourage each other, because sometimes it can get lonely in the embroidery studio, and we don't feel like we have, a voice because our families may not understand or appreciate what we do. So that's why we have, the channel here, and we have our groups to join in. So please do not hesitate to share your pictures, your embroidery experiences, your embroidery questions. The questions can go into into the discussions part on the Google Plus group, and we'll get them answered as soon as possible. I'm going to double check here again. Miss Fanny says information is greatly appreciated. Thanks again. You're welcome. Tracy says you watched all of the videos. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I do definitely appreciate you guys checking out the videos. So Miss Fanny, you say you want to join, just shoot me an email. It's thebabiesbooty@gmail.com. And once I get your email, you can scroll up, and she actually typed out the embroidery name to make sure that it was right. Miss Esther did. So if you scroll up and look at that, you'll see what the email address is. So definitely send me an email that you want to join, and I'll send that back to you. Matey, thank you for all you do for all of you. You're welcome. Miss Phenomenal Creations, I love you too. I look forward to seeing all of you guys, especially the ones that are here regularly. It warms my heart. I definitely appreciate it. Miss Bryant, you're quite welcome. Gayleen, I appreciate that. The fourth is coming up soon. Mr. Jake doesn't like the fourth, you guys, so I've been having to deal with him in the house and stuff because the fireworks are full. But he's a good boy. And you guys, you're quite welcome, Miss Purple Cloud. I appreciate you all so very much. I look forward to seeing you all next week, hopefully at the same time. You guys have an excellent evening. And we have to ring the bell for those two babies, the 15 needle and the 770 next week, unfortunately, because I don't have the bell out here in the car. But definitely congratulations, over the top enjoy for your new babies. And you guys, please send pictures. Don't forget to name your babies. Don't forget, they're part of the family now, so make sure you name your babies. And I look forward to seeing all of the wonderful things you guys have been working on. So until the next time I see you all, happy embroidering. Thank you so very much, and you all have an excellent night. Bye.